Namaste, angels. I wanted to come on with some messages from Isis. So, beginning with her deck and the portal of light, she glides on wings through time and space. And this is a card about Isis wanting us to grow and expand, and beyond our physical being and physical selves. And she comforts us when she shows up with this card and this energy, to not worry about, the process of ascension. You're not going anywhere. You're not dying. You're not leaving your physical body, permanently, at least. I want you to understand, is what she comes to say, that you can expand and you can grow and you can move about, and you can even leave sort of your physical body at times, and travel through different dimensions and planes of existence. And you're still going to be just fine, In fact, you're going to be better than fine, and you're going to be better in general. So she's really just saying, don't be afraid to be your full, whole, spiritual, divine self. You don't have to just settle for being a human being, regular old average human being. You can be who you're truly meant to be, and you can do, feel safe and confident doing it. And this card is similar. It's interesting that this is right behind it also, right? Divine Sunchild, blessings of the Sun Falcon, because Horus shows up to kind of say the same thing, that he wants to show you by example how you can, be magical and be powerful. And again, not settle for just being average, mediocre, human being. You can be a divine child. You are a divine child, but you should actually be able to step into your truth and be your whole true self without fear. So we have both Isis and her son Horus coming through to say similar. And then we have talismans of potency, charging sacred objects of power. This is about working with divination tools. Past life, present power, lessons that we learned in our past life, or perhaps even in our past, in this lifetime, that help us to, be better people now. I had a feeling I was going to pull this card. When I pull this card, it means death, proper burial for freedom, sacrifice to Osiris, Lord of the Dead. It's often like celebrities and things. That's typically what it is, actually. So what we'll see in the news, celebrities passing away. Sometimes it's some other sort of viral story. Unfortunately, a lot of the death by police and stuff has happened around this time of year, every year, May, June, July, for whatever reason. So there could be some of that. I did not want to pull it. I just kept having a feeling that I would. And look, we shuffled several times, cut. I'm back to Portal of Light as this overall energy. She glides on wings through time and space. This is the card with which I started. And now healing the divine masculine is behind it. It's in reverse, but it's right immediately behind it. Osiris rises. So maybe that's what she wants us to know. That's what's coming up next for us, maybe. With this deck, you know what? Also, she's telling me a message here already. Abundance is coming. We're entering a really, really abundant phase. When I say abundance is coming, I don't just mean tomorrow maybe you'll have a few dollars. No, we're entering an entire phase of growth, expansion, and abundance. If you're not happy, you're not afraid of practicing your beliefs and stepping into your beliefs, and again being your true self. So maybe that's why we got this message again, or as our overall energy, because she really wants us to do that. And if you can do it, if you can, go ahead and be your true self and practice what you really believe, and be authentic, then there's so much waiting for you. It's like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. For some of us, it may have something to do with, LGBTQ. Maybe that's being with your true self. This is Pride Month. She could be bringing that message too, because I was just shown the rainbow. And of course, we associate the rainbow with the LGBTQ community, particularly during the month of June. Similar or clashing belief systems can bring you together or keep you apart. So I don't think this is only talking about potential romantic interests. I think it's talking about friends. I think it's talking about families. If your own parents disagree with with who you are and your belief systems, your ideology, sometimes it causes rifts in families too. But again, she wants us to be our whole authentic selves, and let's hope that those people that we consider our loved ones can accept us for who we truly are. Behind that is spring. So we're still in spring, and there's only about 2 weeks left of spring. Spring ends on the 21st of June, the last day of the sign of Gemini, right? Summer starts the day that we enter the sign of we begin Cancer season, June 22nd. So it looks like she has something that's happening for us within this next 2 weeks. And I think, again, it has to do with our belief systems and our practices as divine beings, too. Your love is blooming and your answers arrive in spring. Love, has many, many forms. So it could be romantic love. It could be love of self. It could be love of, the earth and other people, all of the above. I think it's all tying into, again, just this expansion that we're going through. And some of you who don't right now may begin to keep an altar, or to practice yoga, or to maybe work with flowers and or herbs, maybe in a medicinal way. I think this is all toward your soul purpose. So it's part of the growth and expansion and beliefs. These are all tied together. These are all tied together. Within the next 2 weeks, some of us will really enter this, new place in our own lives as individuals with regard to our life purpose and our practices, our religious or spiritual practices. Altar, prayer, candles, commune with your own divinity. And then we have healing. Maybe you'll become a healer. Maybe you'll see a healer. Maybe both. Maybe somebody will mentor you. Self-care, time out. Be gentle with yourself and your twin. So this is about loved ones too. But prioritizing yourself, self-care, healing. And it's all in preparation for this abundance and this growth, this phase that we're entering. The next card that's upright is material world. So it's more money and things that are coming. It's coming to support this. So maybe if we're going to enter a spiritual based business, or, in order to live this sort of lifestyle, you need material or financial support from the universe. It's coming. Money, career, status, third dimension stuff is what this is talking about. Make your mark. But this third dimension stuff is to help to support and facilitate the 5 dimension stuff that she was talking about in the beginning. Oh, look, boom. I opened right to 5th dimension. See? I can't tell you how strong I'm feeling these messages tonight. Intuitive communication. You are connected at the soul level. Inner child, playful, happy. Enjoy the present moment. Live to the fullest. Hesitation, past heartbreak, broken trust, afraid to move forward. So some of us may be afraid, of this growth, of this phase, and afraid to enter it because in the past we've had failure or hurt or both. And that's why I guess she's coming with this comforting message and doubling down on it, repeating it twice, or showing up with it twice is our overall energy to say, again, you're not going anywhere, you're not leaving your body, you know, you're safe, but I want you to fearlessly allow yourself to expand beyond, you know, what you are today. And we came back, again, we've done it. Hesitation is our overall energy now. Immediately behind that, we have rise above. And what she wants us to rise above is drama, obstacles, pettiness, and find the strength to rise, to ascend without hesitation and fear. The beliefs are behind that in reverse now. Who's the master manifester? It is the magician, of course. Starting out with this major arcana card 1 represents the sign of Gemini and the planet Mercury most directly. Wow. And immediately behind that we have the star. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse behind that. Again, another reminder about self-care. Queen of Cups is a nurturer. She takes care of everybody. She forgets herself sometimes. We have Gemini. We have Aquarius very strong here. These are both very strong healing energy. Well, this is a very strong healing energy. And this one, it's a healing energy. It's an everything energy. The magician is about you, being able to bring about anything and everything you need in the world to be successful. Knight of Cups, Justice, that last one was the Ten of Pentacles. Which came up for the feminine in the general read, the general and love reading. I do like one reading now that has general and love energies in it. Judgment is our overall energy here. Represents the sign of Scorpio. And then last but not least, I picked up two cards. It's the King and Queen of Pentacles. Talk about abundance and divinity. So we also have like a divine couple here, soulmates, like as came up in the weekly reading as well. Abundant soulmates. These people understand the value of life and love and the earth and the planet. It's just everything. The King of Pentacles is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. So again, there's nothing for us to worry about this week. Or for this period that she's talking to us about. Projects will be stunningly successful, exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles. She is thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. The next card is the Nine of... Wow! I opened up to the Page of Pentacles as well. What was I about to say? The next card is the Nine of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Nine of Cups, rather, which is similar to the Star card. It's another card of wish fulfillment, prayers being answered, dreams coming true, goals being reached. With the King, Queen, and Page of Pentacles, not only, is the message that we're entering this abundant phase, but specifically something could happen in a family with the Ten of Pentacles, for example, that could be an inheritance, and maybe each person gets something, like, down to even the children. They're given something as well. Maybe like a grandparent or somebody passed away or passes away, and leaves behind. In the weekly reading, it was as if the person has already passed away, honestly. And here we have an overall energy of the Seven of Swords. Plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. Followed by renewal. So something that was lost could be making its way back to you, or misplaced, or even stolen or taken, or that somebody attempted to take from you. And then maybe it's, like when somebody tries to take something from you, it's like not sure, and they're like, okay, we got to settle this. We got to figure out who this truly belongs to. You're saying it's yours, but you're saying, it's yours, and they took it from you. We got to find out whose name is really on, and who this really belongs to. I'm getting something like that for someone. But again, there's just an energy of renewal. This is also judgment, actually. Major Arcana card 20. They call it renewal in this deck, but it's judgment. So we got judgment as an overall energy here and here. Next card is strength in reverse. Judgment is one of my favorite cards because the way that I pick up the energy, it's about abundance that is earned. So again, as I was feeling that she's telling us about this phase of abundance that we're entering, we're entering it because we deserve it, or we will enter it if we deserve it, if again we're ready to be our true authentic selves and to allow ourselves to continue to grow in that sense and to follow our spiritual paths, our life purpose, and to be with the mates that we feel guided to be with, as opposed to who we just, end up with by happenstance, or who was meant to only be a lesson and be gone. It's like all the things and people to which our soul is drawn is where she's directing us right now, where she wants us to go. But as part of that, something or someone could be returned to you. If it's a person, they probably haven't changed from however they were before, which, might be a good thing in this case, because again, this is like a prize, like a reward or an award, recognition. Judgment is a positive thing. So person's coming back to you because you deserve it. In that sense, let's hope that it's because you deserve something good, not something negative. Alternatively, when people say, oh, they haven't changed, that, it's not always a good thing. But, like when it's positive and say, oh my goodness, you haven't changed one bit. You look exactly the same. I feel like we can pick up where we left off in our relationship, even though I haven't seen you in ages or whatever it is. It can be like that. All right, so let's get into Isis, and then I'll just use these to supplement if we're feeling guided to, clarify anything or something like that. All right, we'll pull one for the feminine and one for the masculine. Let's do the masculine first. And let's do only the upright cards like this. So if the beetle is facing this way, then it's upright. This is a reverse, so we won't skip that one. So we'll take this one for the masculine, and it is Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. And then for the feminine, the next upright card is this. Initiation, Spiritual Testing of Ra and the Lady Isis. Very nice. And I do feel like I want one of these for us too. So from the Twin Flame Oracle, the masculine has memories, nostalgia, repetition, attachment, reliving the past, let it go. And the feminine has balance, yin and yang, darkness and light. Stay centered in your higher self. And then we'll do the same thing here, only upright cards. For the masculine, the Page of Wands. This is appropriate. Tomorrow we have the Sagittarius full moon. Look, there's a full moon right there in the back of the picture behind this dragon. The Page of Wands is outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So masculine getting a new opportunity also. I'm going to move these cards in a minute. I'm just pulling them and then we'll go through them. And for the feminine, we have the Eight of Wands. Similar, very similar for those who saw the reading that I did. Let's pull another one. The next card is upright as well. Let's pull it too. It's the Knight of Wands. So somebody swooping into the feminine to give her some sort of communication, or to help her with something, to make something happen for her, to get something moving, get something back on track, which is very nice. In the weekly reading, there was the Eight of Wands for the feminine also, and it was crossing, I think, the King of Wands in that case. And I was saying I felt like, it was going to be a message maybe for some specifically from a fire sign. And I did say that for some, maybe a deceased person, and still possibly specifically a deceased fire sign male, was sending them a message, or will be sending them a message as well in a dream or through some sort of sign or something. Again, leave change or feathers and stuff. So masculine, your card too, from Isis, is about what we've been talking about so far. This idea of growth, expansion, ascension, really elevating your vibration. This card comes through, and it's for people that are already at a high vibration. So you probably have already began this ascension process. You're not completely new to this. You've already begun your awakening, and the card or the energy that it brings delivers you, masculine, an even deeper soul awakening than that which you maybe have already, begun to experience. And this Page of Wands, which comes with opportunity, I think it's bringing you new spiritual gifts. They're really going to enable you to be, of some sort of service to humanity, some sort of divine service. Again, pursuit of this life purpose. She wants you to pay attention to the changes that are occurring in and around you. And some of them may be like memories. You're like, something may be triggered where you're like, oh, I remember when I was a child, this happened, and something, miraculous or divine, that you sort of brushed aside. And now that memory is coming back, and it's triggering something because you're developing gifts, or your gifts are awakening, gifts you already had that maybe you haven't used since you were a child. Something is going to come in. It might be the full moon itself in Sagittarius and trigger that. And you're going to find yourself, your vibration really increasing. And then it's going to be on you. The onus will be on you to maintain it, right? Because we can allow people and things, external things, to take it away from us, right? To reduce our vibration if we're not careful. Feminine Art card, initiation, spiritual teaching of Ra and Isis, is about the two of them coming together in their own individual natures. So Isis comes through with this very motherly, compassionate, understanding, empathetic even, sense and air about her. And Ra comes in with this very authoritative, fiery, strong, stern father-like, or maybe even grandfather-like energy. Like, you better not. And it's still about expansion. So both archetypes, masculine and feminine, again, both growing, both, and if you're so brave as enough to go ahead and allow this to happen to yourself, there's a bounty awaiting you. With the feminine, we're being initiated, right? So some of us are familiar with what that means in terms of religion or even spiritual practices. Like there's some ancient or and not so ancient, but older ancestral African practices where you might have to be initiated, for example, and it's only when you're ready, right? When the leader of your group, so depending upon what it is you're practicing, the high priest or priestess has determined that you're ready. After being under their mentorship for a while, they will call you to be initiated. And so this is a similar thing. We've been under the mentorship of Isis, of Ra, of Horus, of the Egyptian pantheon. And if we are so brave enough, like now it's the time for us to take like the physical test to see, if we're worthy of being crowned. I think it's interesting that we got the card balance from the twin flame oracle, because the key here is balancing like both of those different types of energies, Isis and Ra. And the challenge that we're about to take on, this sort of like spiritual obstacle course, like the challenge, the game, is actually, we're not really starting it if we're being called to be. Well, something new is going to start, a new phase of this year, but we've already gone through so many different things. Like Hercules. There's an Indian story too that I was guided to read once, where they had to go through like 10 different physical trials before getting up to this place where it's like, okay, if you pass this one, like now you're like initiated. And that's where I feel like we are. So these are feminine energies, feminine people that are going to be watching this, and I'm talking to, who you've been at this a while. You've been doing the work, the inner work already, and now the key is to basically find the fire, the light within, and that means also anything that we've been through, anything we've learned, any skills we've picked up, any gifts we've developed, anything that you can call upon, that you can sort of summon from the depths of your soul now to use toward an opportunity for growth, maybe even more healing, that's possible too, is what we're being called to do. And if I remember correctly from the book, Isis again wants to protect us. Like she's going to protect us from the fire of Ra, protect us from getting burned while we're going through these trials. So like that picture, I'm picturing, I don't know if I can convey it for you guys to picture, but picture like you have to jump from one thing to another. Like these pillars, and land safely, but there's like fire, on each one too. So you could get burned, but you need to jump to the next thing. You need to jump to the next thing. She's going to protect us as we do that. And so that's why we need both. That's why we need the balance of both. Something is coming in. This is action. right? The page is news, is information that there's an opportunity. A knight is somebody who takes action. This is movement. This is things happening. The Eight of Wands is about movement, especially where something had been stagnant before. It's like, no, now we got to get going on this. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over, and many things are happening at once. This can also be about communications coming to you, whether it's from the masculine or some other communication that is going to be helpful to you. Again, conducive toward your growth, conducive toward your life path, your life purpose, and maybe even your romantic path, or part of your spiritual journey as well. That's possible. If someone comes in with love, they may not stay long. It could be very hot, very passionate, very good, but like say for example, that masculine, he may need to go back to working on himself. So he may drop in, and you guys have a really hot and heavy time, a really passionate time, and it's real, but he may, disappear as fast as he came, and, that game will start again, but you're expected to keep going. And I'll just pull one card from this other deck for each of us, and then we'll end. Well, the Queen of Swords just fell away. So I can't do that. She was in reverse, actually, which is not good. Queen of Swords in reverse is an agitated energy, basically. We'll get into that in a second. For the masculine, because with this deck, I can't tell what's upright and what's in reverse. For the masculine, we have the Fool. So again, it's about taking a chance. Are you willing to take the chance? Are you brave enough? Will you take a leap of faith? Will you believe and just go and not be worried about what's going to happen or what the outcome will be? And feminine, ours is the Page of Pentacles. So there's a financial, again, offer, a growth. We're closer to being ready to receiving. The masculine, he may be a little bit behind us. That's why he's with this page, which is can be an over, like a more immature energy. Not quite ready, but getting there. Also, the Page of Wands has connotations with memories, because the Page of Wands in traditional tarot can be about picking up something where you left off. Like you weren't done with this thing you started before, and now it's time to finish it. So maybe you need to take a risk and a leap of faith toward jumping at something that you started before, whether it was, a project, a relationship, whatever. And, now being brave and jumping at it and sparking it back up. And for the feminine, maybe we're beyond that already. We're in the action stage, and we're ready to take an action or not, right? You got to make a decision. Am I going to act or am I not going to act? And again, those who act are going to find some sort of reward comes to them. And that is what I have for you. Hope you guys have enjoyed Messages from Isis. I'll be back with the full moon reading. Full moon in Sagittarius. Namaste.